Good morning. Welcome to your Monday edition of Cup of Cyber. Today we're having breaking out a very special cup. This is a cup of illy in my CIE coffee cup that came from my last trip to Langley. Maybe it even tastes better. Reason I broke this cup out is because of our topic today, the truth about your cyber career. A lot of people are trying to dive into cyber, get into this field for some crazy reasons. This morning, I want to talk to you about my experiences in the cyber career and in this field, and what you can expect should you choose to dive into it, or if you're just starting. So, hang around. We'll be back in just a second, and we'll jump into my thoughts and feelings on what cyber looks like. So, a lot of people jump into cyber. They see the dollars. Wow, that's a ton of money. You can make a ton of money in cyber. True. That's 1,000% true. You could make a lot of money as a brain surgeon or a doctor. I'm not saying the same thing, but some of the same things apply, right? So there's a ton of fields that you can make a lot of money in. And if you're after it, making a lot of money, probably if your only goal is to make money, you're probably going to be surprised at what lies ahead of you in this field. It is just you can, but one thing you have to notice, it's not easy. This is not an easy field. You can't come in, put in minimal effort, and get a good paying, or maybe even any job in cyber. It's going to take a lot of work. Can you make $100,000 in cyber? Yes, you can. Can you make $200,000 in cyber a year? Yes, you sure can. Can you make more than that? Yes, I know people making more than that every year, each and every year in this field. But you know what? It's just not easy. It's not an easy field. It demands your attention. It demands work from you constantly. Um, it is a career. It's not a job. You're not going to go, and I'm not pinging or bagging on any job. I think anybody working, it's great. It's helping the economy. It's helping your family. It's helping yourself. But if you're jumping into this, you need to know these facts. You need to know what's coming. Most jobs in cybersecurity pay well, and they're relatively secure. They're safe. They're really safe from recession in a lot of places. I'm not saying everywhere, but the career field overall is relatively safe from recession or cutbacks, because we're in a trend where we need more cyber people than we have. We need more people working this field than are available to work it. So that's a simple economics. That's supply and demand. That's the way you've got to do it. I have been doing this, and not trying to toot my own horn, but I have been in the cyber field for over 25 years. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it well before it was cyber. I've been doing it well before it was as popular as it is. And I'm a person where sometimes luck is better than being good. I was lucky to have leaders in my past that put me in positions where I was able to learn. I came out of high school. I went in the Army. I had some officers that took care of me and got me into positions where I learned computers. I learned stuff about computers. By the time I left the Army, I was teaching a lot of computer concepts. And I was at places where I was able to capitalize on available opportunities. And really, we've got to be able to do that. You've got to be able to see opportunities and take them. It's hard going sometimes going from a job that pays the bills into another field that is new is going to be scary. It's going to be challenging, and you have to decide what's best for you and what's best for your family, right? Um, so you have to be, and a lot of these things. Let me back up a little bit. These things all come with a caveat, right? Can you be in one location and be successful? Yes, you can stay in one location and you can be successful. This map shows the places I've lived in America in the last 25 years, right? So I moved around a lot. So I started in a small town in Montana. Can you make $100,000, $200,000 in Montana? Sure. Is it going to be hard? Yes, it's going to be very, very hard. Can you build your cyber career in Montana? Sure. But moving around and going where the opportunities are is going to make you more marketable. You're going to get more opportunities to be exposed to more things in this field than staying in one place. There are some big caveats with that. If you're somewhere like the DC metro area or some places in California or North Carolina, there are places where there's a lot of opportunity to move around. Sure, you can stay in one company and still progress, but it's going to be probably harder for you to do that. So if you are mobile, if you have this, not everybody has this ability. So plan that into your strategy. If you can't move, know that it may be a little harder for you to progress in your career. If you can't move to chase opportunities, then it may be harder. As you get older in the career field, it will be easier for you to stay in one place. And that may be even due to remote opportunities, the opportunity to work virtually in a remote location. That's becoming more and more popular, but you're probably not going to get that right out of the gate. More than likely, you're going to have to go to a site, go to an office location, go to a facility, and that's where you're going to have to work from. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. You're going to start out that way, and opportunities will get better. As you get more experience, opportunities will get better, right? In this field, you're probably, and again, a lot of these things are generalizations about the field overall. I can't think of many places you're going to go in this field where you're not going to have things like background checks. They are going to want to know who is working security in this field, right? The people are going to know what people are having access to the level of access you will have as a security person. You'll have access to things that a lot of people don't because you'll be checking things out. You'll be making sure they're secure. That has inherent risk with it. So a lot of times your employer will do background checks on you. They may check your credit report. They'll look at your criminal record possibly. And they may even do drug screenings. Does everyone do this? No, not everyone does this. But if you're going to work in some of the higher paying, the more opportunity jobs, they're probably going to have you go through these different checks. If you're going to work for folks like this, the intelligence community, you'll get a great amount of experience within the intelligence community, the Department of Defense, or some of the government agencies. They're going to do background checks. Some may be very, very extensive. A lot of places in the intelligence community, you'll have to have a clearance, and a lot of times it'll be a top secret clearance, and sometimes, beyond top secret. Some you'll have additional checks ran on you, depending on where you work. But if you can do that, you will get excellent opportunities to advance your career, excellent opportunities to sometimes, some people are in it for more than the money, and I applaud those folks, um, because they're doing it for the greater good. And in some of these jobs, um, you'll be doing wonderful things for people and your country. Um, and maybe you don't want to work within the government. Maybe you want to work in the civil sector. That's fine too. There's going to be places that do checks on you as well. Generally, what I see is there's a triad that you have to deal with, right? And this triad looks something like this. Um, you've got experience you have to get, and that's working in the field. And at the beginning, you may have to volunteer to do some of this work. You may have to go out and volunteer where you can to get your experience built up. Or you take that job that the drive is terrible and you really don't like the people you're working with. It happens. Um, and you just deal with it. You deal with it and you get the experience. Maybe it's just, it's not where you want to be in the end, but you got to get that experience. Somehow you got to experience. You might get lucky and the first job you have is perfect. It's going to give you a lot of opportunity to grow, but you got to get the experience. You got to get education. If you want to advance in this field, it's like any other professional field. Eventually, you're going to need education. That's probably a bachelor's degree or master's degree. It's just the way it is. Are there people in this field working today that are in very high positions without education? Sure. I know folks that are working in very high positions without education. But as the field expands, that becomes less and less the case. And right now, that's probably the minority of people don't have education. So you have to get some education. And then obviously certification. I've done probably more certifications than I can think of right now. You have to do it. It proves you know what's going on in the field. Sometimes there's requirements for contracts, requirements for jobs. You just have to get them. I think probably right now I'm holding 10 different certifications. And you just have to get them. And some of them you let go, some of them you let expire because you don't need them, and they're hard to maintain. They cost money to maintain. You let some of them go, you keep some of them. But you have to stay on top of this stuff. So can you start out without a degree? Sure. You can start off without a degree. Get in the field. You probably need certification and some type of experience. So, or maybe just, it is possible to get in the field with just a couple certifications. Maybe you just have A+ and Security+. You get in, start building your experience. Start looking at opportunities to start, even if it's slow, start going to school. And I'm not saying every job in the world needs school, but this field, you're probably going to need some type of post-secondary education. You're going to need a bachelor's degree just to probably advance, and a master's degree to really do well. And that's just the way it is. But start slow. Do a class at a time. Do some online stuff. Hopefully, the people you work for are going to have tuition reimbursement. Most of them do. You go to school, you pass the class, they'll give you the money back. A lot of times it'll cover books, and it'll cover the class, and it'll cover other fees. But think about this. Think about these three legs of your career. As you move forward, you're going to have to keep getting more experience, more certification, more education. Right before I started recording today, right before I went live, I was thinking, what has happened in the last 25 years that I've seen? Wi-Fi, client server, virtualization, voice over IP, peer-to-peer, ransomware, self-driving cars now. Mainframes went away, mainframes came back. The Internet of Things, distributed computing, cloud computing, bring your own device, the expansion of laptops and mobile devices like cell phones, cryptocurrency, ransomware. So, and that's just off the top of my head in a few minutes. A lot of that stuff didn't exist when I started. And in 10 years, in 20 years, it's going to be totally different again. Things change. Computers continue to expand. Computing continues to expand. And the risks that are inherent within those devices and in them continues to expand. So you'll always have to learn new stuff. Again, it's not a job. You're not going to go in and you're not going to get a week or two of training and then you're going to be fine for the next 20 years. The things I learned in school years and years ago don't, I mean, the principles exist. The principles still hold fast, they hold true, but all the technologies are gone. They don't exist anymore, generally, or they've changed dramatically. So know that there are exceptional opportunities in this field. It's a great field. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have picked another field. I got lucky. Timing was on my side. I had good people looking out for me. It worked out well for me. And sometimes you get a something happens in your life and you think it's terrible, and it may actually, if you look at it the right way and can take advantage of it, it may help your career and you just don't see it. So you have to look back, even those things that are coming at you that are maybe not the best. They don't look the best on their face value. Sometimes they're a blessing in disguise. So I can think of after 9/11, I was out of the Army. I rejoined the reserves and was almost immediately activated. And I say activated because I didn't get deployed overseas. I went to do support of a base, but I still had to leave my family behind, my friends behind, and go somewhere else in the country. And it was kind of rough because I was done with the Army. I wasn't in the Army anymore. I joined back in because I felt like I should be doing something. And then within a month we were activated, and within a couple months we were gone. We were on a base doing base support. And for my family, we thought it was rough. It was kind of a bitter pill to swallow right off the bat. Obviously that's what the military does. I could have been deployed much further away. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for those folks that went off and did the right thing and took care of us. But at the time, it was a little rough to make that decision, right? Especially since I didn't have to do it. I could have just not rejoined the reserves, so I'd rejoin the reserves. But in that activation, I did get the opportunity to do a lot of new cyber work. I got to move my clearance from where it was at one level to a higher level because of the job I was doing and the opportunity that they would pay for. It's hard to get someone to pay for your clearance. It really is. So if you get that opportunity. So sometimes you have to take, sometimes you take that thing that looks a little bad, a little hard on the surface, and see what advantages, do your best. Always go do your best and good things will happen. Be prepared to move if you have to. When I was working for a company called A.G. Edwards, they don't exist anymore, but we got a new CIO, and he said, keep yourself employable. He paused and he said, maybe not here, but keep yourself employable somewhere. So always look at your careers. Don't get satisfied where you're at. Always be looking for the next thing. Always be looking for the new technology coming out. Look at what is coming down the road. Right now we've got, a lot of new technology coming at us. Augmented reality, virtual reality is coming around the corner. Someday in the next couple of years, it will be here. What does that mean to the field? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what that means. Artificial intelligence, what can that bring to the field? Probably a lot. Maybe Skynet if we don't watch it. But anyways, I guess I drone on long enough. I am adamant that we need more good people in this field. And I want to caveat that and say, I couldn't exclamation stars, everything around good people in the field. I don't want a lot of people chasing the money because those folks will be disappointed with the amount of work you have to put in to stay relevant in this field. But it's a fulfilling career. It does pay well. Like any career that's going to make you put this much work in is going to pay well. But be prepared for that. It's not, You're not going to go get a couple certifications and maybe a degree and then just be done. It's every day, still 25 years later, I'm on the slot to learn new things, to put myself in for new certifications because the technology changes. So until you fully retire, you'll be continually learning, continually improving yourself in this field. Is it worth it? To me, it is. It's a challenging field. It's a rewarding field. You get to do good things for good companies, and you have the ability to pick your company, right? You want to work for the government? Go work for the government. You want to go work for a not-for-profit and do support those? Go work for the not-for-profits. You want to go work for a financial or a pharmaceutical or an auto manufacturer? That's where you want to go. There are opportunities everywhere, and especially today, it's expanding faster than probably any other time I've seen since I've been in the field. So, anyways, enough from me. I hope you're having a good Monday. It is President's Day in the United States here. Most people are off. I'm off as well, but I wanted to make sure I got up and tried to stay on track with you all. It's important to me that we make this connection every day, every weekday at least, and keep you moving on your career. Hopefully you're moving forward. If you're already in the field, let me know what you think. Am I crazy? Am I telling you stuff that's not true? If you're working in this field, let me know. If you're trying to get in the field, what do you think of these requirements? The stuff I've laid out, the road ahead of you. If you're brand new to cyber, you're trying to break into it. Do you think it's worth it? Does it make sense to you that you'd have to do all this stuff? Let me know. Drop it in the comments below. Like always, like the video, comment, let me know what's going on. Subscribe to the channel. It does help us out. And if you think it's worthwhile, share with your friends. We'd love more opinions. We'd love more people telling us what you guys think's going on. So, anyways, I'm Jim. Enjoy the President's Day holiday if you're off. If not, be safe at work or school or wherever you're at. And I will see you tomorrow morning.